phobia, but it's all under control. I hope. In case you didn't know, glossophobia is the fear of public speaking. It seems like everybody I know has a phobia nowadays. I know people with phobias of sandpaper, velvet, feet, and paper cuts. But how do you know if it's a phobia or if it's just something you're scared of because of a past experience? Well, the Mayo Clinic defines a phobia as an overwhelming and unreasonable fear of an object or situation that poses little to no real danger and can cause such an intense reaction that the sufferer would have trouble functioning in a social or work setting. In order to be classified as a phobia, the reaction must be so intense that the sufferer would go to any length to avoid the situation or object causing the fear. For example, a person with claustrophobia, fear of small places, may turn down a perfect job simply because he or she needs to ride an elevator to get there. A person with acrophobia, fear of tall buildings or places, might drive an extra 20 miles just to avoid driving over a tall bridge. But what's with all these weird names? To get the name of a phobia, we take the Greek term for the object or situation causing the fear and add the suffix phobia to it. As in my poster, we take chromo, meaning color, and add phobia, meaning fear of, to get chromophobia, fear of color. In which case, a person with chromophobia would severely dislike this poster. Names for phobias can be strangely specific, like porphyrophobia, fear of the color purple. Some names are just cruel, like hippopotamonstrosis puppedellophobia, fear of long words. One of the most common phobias, arachnophobia, which is fear of spiders, can be triggered by even the slightest thought, or even someone placing a fake spider on someone else's skin. So how can we tell that it's a phobic reaction? Well, anxiety, uncontrollable anxiety, the intense urge to get away from the object causing the fear, and the knowledge that the fear is unreasonable all characterize a phobia. Symptoms can be physical as well as psychological. Sweating, rapid heartbeat, and difficulty breathing are all physical symptoms of a phobia. But no need to fear. Phobias can be treated in many different ways. Most phobias are treated with simple behavioral therapy. Some more advanced phobias may require medication to calm the anxiety. And still more serious social phobias require both behavioral therapy and medication to overcome. So now that we know what a phobia is, how to name a phobia, how to tell if it's a phobic reaction, and how to treat a phobia, what causes a phobia? Well, according to Mayo Clinic, brain chemicals, genetics, and traumatic experiences are all thought to contribute to the development of phobias, but they're still unproven. The real cause of phobia is still unknown. Some phobias, such as ophidiophobia, fear of snakes, can be passed to a child from watching a parent's reaction. So to keep from passing your fears onto your children, think about getting psychological help and talk openly with your kids about their fears and encourage them to positively approach the fear-inducing situation. Phobias are a very real reality and very scary for a lot of people. They actually affect up to 5% of the U.S. population and can have long-lasting effects if left untreated. So, in that case, what are you scared of? Are there any questions?
So what phobia do you have?
The question was, what phobia do I have? I don't actually have any phobias. I don't like spiders, but it's not a phobia.
How do you know?
The question was, how do I know that it's not a phobia? Well, I don't have sweaty, uncontrollable anxiety and I do have the intense urge to get away from the object, but I don't have the other symptoms that all require the behavioral therapy or medication to treat.
Do you know of people that do have phobias?
The question was if I know anyone with phobias. I do not know anyone with by giving this presentation, I have met a lot of people, and I've heard stories. One of the stories that I heard was a guy that as a child, as a prank from some school bullies, he was put into a gardening shed that was full of snakes. And because of that experience, he now has a phobia of snakes, where he is unable to move and is completely paralyzed when around snakes because of his fear. So that's one of the situations where a phobia really is a phobia, because that person can't get away from the object because they're too scared. The question was, what motivated me to research this topic? It was more of just an interest. Like I said, I have some friends that I know that have weird phobias, they call them, of like feet or sandpaper or paper cuts. And so it's just kind of, the one person I know with a fear of velvet, she cannot be around velvet at all. She absolutely hates it. She feels like it's like gonna grind her teeth or something like that. So just kind of that interest of how different people react to different situations and different objects encouraged me to research more into it and research what an actual phobia was. Any other questions?
Who are the professionals that help you get over being phobia?
Can you repeat them?
How do you contact professionals that can help you get over being phobia?
The question was, how do you contact professionals to help you get over phobia? Different websites. Mayo Clinic is where I got a lot of my information from. They actually have a very good health website and kind of take you through like how to diagnose that you have a phobia and what professionals to call, and they actually have therapy there that they could give you, and they have a helpline to call if you need therapy. Are there any other questions? This concludes my presentation.